Is free always a good idea? Kia ora to all of you, my dear ones. Thank you so much for having me once again, and it's always a joy to share on Mark's channel and his awesome community. Really good to see you. Here's the thing. If you went to your supermarket and, you know, there was a section that had, you know, the usual premium foods, and then there was another section with food that was, looked okay, looked good on the surface. And when you go to the till, the person serving you says, oh, this is all free, this food. What would your reaction be? Just pause the video here, just humor me, right? Pause the video here. I'm genuinely interested in what your response is going to be to this, guys. Because everyone's going to be different, and that's fine, right? Pause the video, and I'd like you to tell me what your reaction would be. Would you be like, cool, and just, you know, chip on out of there? Or would you be like, well, why? Did you do it? Did you leave me a comment? Okay, so I think that's probably a good example to start this whole conversation with, right? Because the thing is, what I'm about to share with you, I have to own as just my own perspective. In my view, there is a time and a place for giving away goods and services for free without any, you know, other intentions or anything that's kind of hidden about it. However, I think as a rule, if we are encountering people, like especially people calling themselves a therapist, who are offering services for free or for a super reduced fee when you compare it to the rest of the market, I think it behooves us to ask why. Maybe that you ask the question why, and the answer that you get is really satisfactory. Or it may be that that question actually unsettles the person you're asking, and that in itself is quite revealing. You know, we have that saying in the English language, don't we? Never look a gift horse in the mouth. And again, I think there is a time and a place where that is absolutely true. If someone wants to give you their new Lamborghini, give you the keys because they just won $1 billion, then take it and go, right? But I think, you know, when it comes to our health and our mental health, what we want is to put ourselves in good hands, okay? This isn't about finding the perfect therapist. It's not about me saying I am the perfect therapist, not at all. What I am, however, is super honest. And in a way, that is my point of differentiation in the pool and, you know, world of therapists and coaches and all sorts of things that you can find. One point of note I will add here, my loves, is because I am in Aotearoa, and one of the beautiful aspects of Māori tikanga, or tikanga Māori, the Māori way of doing things, is this concept of koha. My understanding, and this was very much when I got here and evolving, you know, my learning around tikanga Māori is ongoing. It will never end, right? For me, you know, that's where I come from with it. It's not something I'm ever going to stop learning about, and I will always be a beginner. But, you know, I think koha is in a very simple way of putting it, is a gift. It's something that is offered without any underlying motive. It's a pure gift, and there's so much more I could say about that. In fact, if you are one of those people who, like me, you know, you love learning about different cultures, I will add a link below for you. In my view, it's different to charity or a donation, even though all of these words could be used in defining the word koha. So this is a Te Reo Māori word that speaks to something that's given without cost. In very simple terms, right? That doesn't cover all of its meaning, my loves. I underscore this because, of course, there is a time for when we are going to give from our hearts without any underlying motive, and we're just giving something away for free. And, you know, we do that a lot in our daily lives with our families, with our loved ones, of course. That's a whole different ball game. When it comes to our mental health and seeking out services, however, here's my take, right? You are entering into a contract with that clinician, with that therapist or counsellor, whoever they are. It's a very clear contract where there is a clinician or a therapist or counsellor, whatever term you want to use, and there is a client or a patient. So just a brief note on terminology. As a psychoanalytic psychotherapist, you will hear me say, probably more in my videos than Mark's videos and Mark's channel, I will use the term patient rather than client, just like a doctor would use the term patient, right? I won't go into too much about that, except if you want to understand the whys and wherefores, you can look to the roots of the word patient, and it speaks to one who suffers. And it very much honors that fact that no one's coming to therapy just for shits and giggles generally. We're coming for a reason, right? Without the financial arrangement that you have between client and therapist, arguably there is no contract. What you have instead is an arrangement, or maybe a pseudo friendship. And none of these things are inherently bad, but I would question the validity of doing that. But of course, these are intricate conversations that, you know, when I see people calling themselves a therapist, and I know full well, or I'm pretty confident that I know full well, that they don't have an actual qualification, that's a genuine one, you know. I sort of think this is the sort of thing that you don't know and you don't learn unless you've gone through a training, right? So again, there's some differences there. Of course, the other aspect of not charging for one's services is around, for me, again, this is again real personal perspective here, my friends. You don't have to agree with me at all, but I think it's an important conversation to have for anyone who is, you know, seriously considering entering into such a contract. What's that person's motivation? As in, if let's say you have a counselor or a therapist who is not a student. So one of the things that you may or may not know about the profession is that it's quite common for student counselors and student therapists to be mandated to offer their services, as it were, for free during their training, right? So that's a different category. I don't actually even agree with that, and I did it myself. I worked for free for many years, right? Because my training was long. However, if the person is not a student, why might they be offering services for free? Well, here's a bunch of reasons, right? They may not apply to anyone that you're considering or anyone you've seen online, but here's what comes to mind. Maybe that person actually doesn't feel their service is worth paying for. Maybe that person feels that they're not sure if they would actually gain new clients if they charged, and certainly maybe if they charge the going rates, right? Those could all be valid reasons. It could be that that person actually hasn't figured out their own values around money and what they're worth. And if that were the case, and again, I want to reiterate, my loves, this isn't about being perfect. Therapists are far from perfect. It doesn't matter how much training we have. We're always learning and growing if we're any good, right? So I'm always learning and growing. I'm not done. I will never be done. And I love that fact about it. That's one of the things I love about my profession. However, there needs to be a baseline. If I'm entering into these contracts where I'm saying, come to me, you who suffer, we go back to that word patient, what it really means, the Latin root of the word, one who suffers. I'm inviting you into a space where you're coming, whether I'm charging or not, I'm offering you something that hopefully is going to help you get to where you want to go in your own mental health, your recovery from retroactive jealousy or anything else, right? So I better freaking have figured some stuff out myself. You know, this is the thing I love about my profession, is that there's no getting away from entering into your own personal therapy. It's mandatory, whether you wanted to or not. If you're a psychotherapist, a real one, then you have done your own personal therapy. And in most cases, for those of us like myself and Mark, who are kind of senior clinicians at this point, we've done a lot. And again, this is something that actually doesn't end. It doesn't mean that I'll never go back to therapy. Hell no. My main issue is that my psychoanalyst is in the UK, and that's not actually an obstacle, but it does mean I have to think a bit. And because I'm so busy as a clinician myself, it's not so easy now for me to just go into therapy. Obviously, I could find someone local, but you know, when you're blessed as I am to have found your true person, then there's no need to look elsewhere. But I digress, my loves. I just want to open up this korero a little bit. Korero means conversation or discussion, talk, right? In Te Reo Māori. And I think it's an important one because, you know, I really don't feel good about some of the things I hear about what people are offering and calling themselves different titles. It's just like when someone says they're a doctor and they're not, or they're a lawyer and they're not. You know, it's the same thing. And of course, the truth is we've all signed up to free things, haven't we, that actually have turned out to be anything but, right? And I guess I'm thinking here with subscriptions where there's a 7-day free trial. And most of us at this point know, we're all pretty savvy at this point with the internet and online dealings. A 7-day free trial or even a month free trial is intended so that you will forget later and wind up paying the subscription ad infinitum for the rest of your life, ideally, according to the company. They don't really care. They gave you their 7 free days or whatever. And I've fallen prey to this, guys. Again, I'm not sitting here saying, oh, I've never done anything like that. Far from it, right? I think most of us have. If we kind of go online and we engage with stuff, if we have any kind of subscription, it's too easy. So my friends, I guess in summary, all I'm saying, it's about asking the question. Where someone is offering a service for free that you would usually expect to pay for, and they're not a monk or a Buddhist or a nun or something. They live in the world like everybody else. They have to pay for their bread and their butter and their milk. Why on earth are they offering their service for free? Just saying, you know, just asking. Why? I will leave that question with you, my loves. And I look forward to seeing your comments. I will jump back in on the corridor and see what you guys are saying. It's such an honor, as always, to be able to share with you. Thank you so much for your love and your support of my beloved Markie. I look forward to seeing you in the next vlog. Kia ora, my loves.